midwife. I love talking about childbirth. I love talking about pregnancy, labor, birth. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm making this video from Nigeria. I love to always hear where you're watching from. And today we're going to be doing something very exciting. Remember, I said any questions you guys leave for me, I will make sure to answer it. And one of the questions we got this week is, am I really in labor? How do I know when I am in labor? And that's the question I'm going to be answering today. So if you want to know how you would know you are in labor, or if you have a wife, a sister, someone that is pregnant right now, and you just want to be educated of how they would know they're in labor, then you want to stay around. You want to watch to the end, and you want to stick to this place, and subscribe if you haven't. Please leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. It helps YouTube share this video more when there's more engagement, whether you're watching on live or you're watching after the live. Thank you so much. So the part two of the video today, I'm going to be reading from my book. If you haven't gotten my book, you can get yours. So this is it. Journey to Motherhood. Easy to read pregnancy support guide for men and women. So it's both for men and women. You can get your copy on Amazon if you search Journey to Motherhood by Victoria Adeyeye. It will pop up, so you can get the Kindle version. You can also get the paperback version. How you can order your copy, it's in my description. And if you're in Nigeria and you want to just order locally, we still have some copies left, some physical copies left. So go ahead and let me know through the WhatsApp link in the description. And also, if you want to order the e-book version, the PDF version of it in Nigeria, you can search on Sailor, and again the link will be in my description. So today I'm going to be also reading for part B of this video, a hospital birth, a beautiful hospital birth that is in the book. I wouldn't finish it so that you can go ahead and read the rest in the book, but you're really going to enjoy it and you're going to learn from it. Give me a minute, let me share it out. And if you're watching or rewatching, make sure you like the video and that you also share the video. So let me share this out and I will be right back. Us sharing and us sharing. And also make sure you stay to the end because we would put up a poll, and at the end of the live video we're going to tell you what everybody thinks about it. And our question today, let me just put it there. So I'm just putting in the poll, and the poll question for those that are rewatching is, have you ever wondered, if you were in labor or not? If you were in labor or not? And the first answer is yes, and the other one is no. Okay. All right, so make sure, start poll. Oh, good. So make sure you vote, and at the end of this video, I'm going to share what the poll is. And if you're not watching live, you can always also say yes. Yes, I've wondered if I was in labor or not, or you say no. And if you've also ever experienced somebody in labor or not, let me know in the comment section. So let's get started. Excuse me. Let's get started. So the question I'll be answering says, how do I know I'm in labor? I'm seeing people coming in. Make sure you give this a thumbs up. Make sure you also let me know where you're watching in the comment. And make sure you also click on the poll. All right, so the question, how do I know I'm in labor? I get that a lot. By the way, if you do not know, I also teach childbirth education classes. I am passionate about teaching childbirth, especially for first time moms and dads. Because when you don't know, you don't know. What you do not know, you do not know. And yes, you could trust medical experts because we take long years to study this. But then to be a good advocate for yourself, for your own peculiar situation, you need to know some things. And so I do teach childbirth education classes, a personalized one. So if you're interested, I teach virtually. I also teach physically. So if you're interested, make sure you just comment interested in your personalized childbirth education, and I would reach you. Okay. All right. Again, the question, how do I know I am in labor? The first thing is that when you are in labor, in real labor, it stays, it's consistent. Real labor is consistent because you drink water, because you took a bath, because you went on a walk, because you ate, because you slept, would not stop real labor. So, how do you know? It doesn't stop. The contractions, or some like to call it the waves, right? Does not stop. When it starts from your back and then it wraps around to the front. So it starts from your back and then wraps around to the front. The pain, the contraction you feel. Okay? And it's consistent as well. So first, it does not stop no matter what you do. Second, it's consistent. So consistency mean it does not, you don't have it for you don't have two in 20 minutes and then it stops for the next 5 hours. No, that's not real labor yet. It continues. There's actually something I teach in my class, and it's called the 511 rule. If you've heard about the 511 rule, let me know in the comment section. Just write 511 and let me know what you think it means before I share what it means. Again, if you're just coming in, let me know where you're watching from in the comments and make sure to click on the poll. Let me know what you think about the poll. If this does not apply to you, it could be somebody that is close to you or someone that you know. Thank you so much for joining my live. Okay, so I have shared that labor is consistent. Number two, it keeps on going, right? So the 511 rule is when you are having contractions every 5 minutes and is lasting at least 60 seconds. Remember, back in school, we learned 60 seconds make 1 minute, right? So having contractions every 5 minutes, lasting at least 60 seconds, and it's been consistent for 1 hour. Let's do that again. Contractions every 5 minutes, right? And it's lasting at least 60 seconds, and it's been consistent for 1 hour. That's a contraction that will probably not go away. And if we do the math, in 1 hour, how many 5 minutes do we have? That's about 12. So if you're having contractions about 10 to 12 times in 1 hour, that's probably true labor. And it's consistent, you've had it for a whole hour. That's probably true labor. We also teach that, especially if you've been having this. So usually the way contractions go, contraction is first a healthy sign of labor. So it's good that you're feeling, the pressure run about your back, from your back to your front. Those are your contractions. It shows that your baby wants to come out, right? And that's good. That's a good sign. And when it's been consistent, it doesn't stop no matter what you do. That's good. Number two, when it's coming rhythmic, right? That's also good. So like I was saying, contractions usually will start with maybe it comes once in 20 minutes, and then it might come maybe twice in an hour or three times in 1 hour, and then it starts to just get more stronger, more closer together, right? Until it gets to that 5-1-1 I talked about, which means every 5 minutes, lasting at least 60 seconds, which is 1 minute, and then it's been consistent for an hour. So that's how you also know that yes, this contraction is not going away. There are also some other signs, but these two are the very strong ones. How you know? There are also some other signs like you start to feel, oh, this one is also very, very important. Cervical changes. If you know what the cervix is, let me know in the comment section. I teach this in my class as well. The cervix is the opening of your womb. So if this is your womb, right, and your baby is inside here, the opening of it here is the cervix. And so your body has to change. The cervix has to be opening. The medical term for it is dilatation. All right. So a contraction that is changing your cervix is true labor. It has to open, it has to open, it has to open. So it will keep on opening. And usually when you come to your midwife and you're like, oh, I'm in labor, when we come in, of course, we'll first ask some questions. And then when we come check you, one of the first thing we do as well with consent, with your consent, is that we'll check your cervical dilatation. And if it's opening, that means you're in labor. Part of the signs that you are in labor. I'm seeing people coming in. Please let me know where you're watching from in the comment section. Let's get it really up. I'm seeing people doing the poll. I love it, love it, love it. Let me know where you're watching from, guys. I love that you guys are here. Thank you. And also make sure you share me out so that people know that we are on. Okay. All right. Another thing is you can also see your mucus plug. Mucus plug alone by itself does not mean you're in labor, but it can show that things are happening. Okay? Mucus plug is like mucus, like the name, but then it has a bit of blood stained, right? It can be a bit reddish with mucus. And that's from your cervix again. As things are opening up, it will start to come out. So that's also some of the signs that you are in labor. And for the mucus plug, usually you'll continue to see it when you are in labor, because as it opens, more will come out, more will come out, more will come out. So yeah, this is some of the ways you know that you're in labor. We have things like also your water breaking, but your water breaking, we've had moms that their water breaks and labor hasn't started, and then they have to go in for like an induction. So water breaking does not necessarily mean that you are in labor. Okay. Um, so yeah, I think I've mentioned 4 things, so I'll stop it here. There are some other videos I've made on this channel. There's one particular one called Stages of Labor. I will really recommend. It's actually one of the favorite classes my people like. I really recommend that you go watch that video. You would be able to learn more about this. Every woman, every man should know this, especially if you want to have a baby, if you're planning to have a baby, if your wife is currently pregnant, you should get educated so that you can advocate better for yourself and you can be well informed. Okay? All right. If you enjoyed that part, make sure you leave in the comment. I enjoyed the first part. I enjoyed you answering our question. And if you have questions, make sure to leave it in the comment section because I might just talk about yours next. All right. So let's go into reading our book for today. And today I'm going to be reading a hospital birth, a beautiful hospital birth. If you have your book, you can open to, this is the copy I'm already reading, so I'm not going to open another copy. You can open to page 78. And page 78 is about hospital birth. Hospital birth. All right, I'm going to start. Oh, so I'm starting from page 77. The story is from page 77 to page 78, and it's from Peace. Peace is 35 years old. I had all my children at the hospital, but birthing my second child was a little different. I was going through such a hard time in my life during that pregnancy. I'm sorry, Mama. But I am so grateful for the midwife who worked at the hospital and attended to me throughout my antenatal. If you're watching this and you're from the West, usually people call antenatal prenatal. So it's the checkup you get when you're pregnant. It's very recommended. I cannot stress it enough. You should go for your antenatal appointment, your prenatals appointment. That's where they check you, they check your baby. Sometimes you might feel like, oh, they're not doing enough, or it's just the same thing they do. Yes, but they're checking you and your baby. And if there's any issue, it's easier to get those things early before you go into labor. So please, if you're ever considering if you should go for antenatal care or not, please go for antenatal care or prenatal care. It's very, very, very important for you and your baby. You can go in a hospital setting. You can also go with a private midwife. But very important to get prenatal care or antenatal care. All right, going on with the story. I am so grateful for the midwife who worked at the hospital and attended to me throughout my antenatal, which I started at 6 months because of financial constraints. This is also something we get asked a lot. When should I register? Please register as soon as you can. Um, the recommendation is about 12 weeks, which is about 3 months since you've been pregnant. But if you confirm that you're pregnant today, just go in, just get registered. Call your midwife, call your medical doctor, call whoever is your primary care provider, and go get registered because they would still want to check. They will still want to check your blood levels. Lab tests, excuse me. They will want to check your lab tests. There's some tests they're going to have to do. So the earlier the better. But the recommendation is usually around 12 weeks. But you can still go in as soon as you know you're pregnant, okay? The midwife was always encouraging with a big smile on her face. When I went into labor, I came into the hospital because I thought since this was my second pregnancy and labor, it should be fast. I left my phone behind and my husband stayed back to care for our first child, thinking I wouldn't be gone wrong. I wouldn't be gone long. Excuse me, be gone long. Okay, so this is a mom. She's always had her babies at the hospital. She's telling us about her second baby. And she said during that pregnancy, she was going through a lot, especially financially. During that time they were pregnant, and that she's very thankful for the midwife she worked with. The midwife did work in the hospital, and she started her antenatal care at 6 months, but that was because of financial constraint. It's not recommended going in as soon as you know. And then when she was in labor, she went in early because she felt like it's a second baby, things should be faster. She left even her phone at home. No one was there with her in the hospital. Her husband was there with their first baby. Let's continue. It didn't happen that way. My labor stalled. I was induced at midnight, and by the next day, I still wasn't contracting well yet. I was disappointed and frustrated because I didn't have my phone to call my husband or anybody else. So no one knew if I had given birth or not. So I like to say this to women and men. Because your first labor went one way does not mean your second labor will. Labors are so different, just like every child is different. Pregnancies also can be very different. They can also be the same, right? For her, she thought, okay, this is my second baby. Baby's gonna go fast. Baby's gonna be born faster. But then it didn't happen that way. The labor stalled, meaning it wasn't progressing. When you are in the hospital, they kind of have to, most hospitals have to do something to help you keep going. And they she was frustrated. She mentioned she was frustrated and then she was induced. So we have something called augmentation and then we have induced. And there are two different meaning to them. Induction meaning means they started it for you, and augmentation means they supported a labor that is already going, but maybe not strong enough. So for her to say she was induced, that means the labor wasn't going anywhere. Maybe it completely stopped. All right. And also, that's why I teach that, especially if you're planning to birth in the hospital, you don't want to go too early. Some hospitals will even send you back home. I know, especially in the United States, they will. If you go in and you are still in early phase of labor, let's say you're like 2 centimeters and you're a first time mom, it's like, please go back home, go rest. Okay. Um, so yeah, they want you to be in a way closer to active labor before you come into the hospital. If you're not understanding what I'm saying, there's a video where I talked about stages of labor. It's very important. Make sure you search for it here on my channel and watch it. But just for a quick thing, um, early phase of labor, usually you shouldn't be in the hospital yet. But of course, if you're using a midwife, you need to let them know early. And then active phase of labor is the 5-1-1 rule I talked about. When your labor is more established, your contractions are stronger, closer together. They're not stopping with anything. Even when people talk to you, you have to like breathe in and out. You have to look inward to get through those contractions. Those are more active labor, and those are the better time to go into the hospital, um, generally. Okay. So now this is a mama that was induced, right? We're going back to the story at midnight. And by the next day, she still wasn't contracting well. She was disappointed. She was frustrated. She couldn't even call anybody because she didn't have a phone with her. The next day, this is day 2. If you're coming in, I'm seeing people coming in. Please make sure you thumbs up and make sure you also put your answer in the poll. Let me know what you think. Have you ever wondered if you were in labor or not, whether this is you or somebody you know? And also let me know where you're watching from in the comment section. This helps YouTube share my video more so more women and men can be educated about childbirth. Thank you so much for sharing and liking. All right, going back to the story, she said, the next day, the doctors advised that we might have to do a C-section. The big thing. By the way, guys, C-section is a major surgery. So, yes, I was so scared because we couldn't afford it with everything else going on in our lives at that time. So the mom was scared, not just because it was a big surgery, but because they cannot afford it. C-section cost money. It is expensive. And that's part of when you're pregnant or when you're planning to get pregnant, you need to plan for these things. Yes, children are a blessing from God, but you still have to plan, right? You have to save money for emergencies. You have to save money for the things you would need during labor, during pregnancy. Yeah, just lots of things. So make sure you plan well if you're planning to have a baby. Next, going back to the story, towards the evening, the midwife who always attended to me resumed her shift. She saw me and she offered to help me. She offered me her phone. I called my husband and informed him of the situation, and we were contemplating what to do. The midwife encouraged me to not be afraid and said, I can do it. I can push out my baby. Her words were soothing, which eased my nerves and calmed my spirit. Surprisingly, when she checked me again, I was far gone in dilatation, so she encouraged me to push. And I'm gonna stop the story there. I'm stopping it here because this is like the climax of the story. Did peas give birth to a baby, or did they actually had to go get a C-section like the doctor said? You'll have to get the book to see the end of the story. So I'm going to stop here. And I want to end today by saying that I am so thankful for doctors. I'm so thankful for nurses. I'm thankful, of course, for midwives. By the way, ICM means International Confederacy of Midwives, says we need 1 million more midwives because midwives help. I mean, especially with low risk healthy pregnancy. We have the hospitals there when we have bigger things, right? When there are complications, when we need to refer, when there are mamas that are sick. And it's not just pregnancy. Pregnancy is not a sickness. We are made, we are created to give birth. Our body, women's body is made for it. So have no fear. Okay? Um, yeah, so anyways, if you want to see what ended up with Peace, what happened if she gave birth vaginally or she had to have a C-section, you know what to do. You have to go get your copy, and how to get your copy, it's in my description. Thank you again for watching. Thank you everybody that joined the live. Thank you everybody that voted in the poll, and also thank you if you're just rewatching this. On the and it's not on the live, make sure to leave comment and share with the mama and the papa that you know. So I'm gonna end the live today by by giving you guys what people said with the poll. So it says, the question in the poll says, have you ever wondered if you were in labor or not? And the first question is yes, and the second one is no. And everyone that joined this live said no. They've never wondered if they were in labor or not. I hope that this answered the question of a lot of you that wanted to know how to know if you're in labor or not. And remember, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment and they might just be answered in the next live. And oh, I need to talk about the Waterbird conference coming up. So we have a Waterbird conference coming up in this year, July or August. So if you're a medical professional and you want to be Waterbirth trained and you want to have your certification to help mamas and papas out there to birth their baby gently, make sure you use the link to join the waiting list. Excuse me. And if you're a parent that you want to learn birth, with my video on water birth on this channel. And if you also just really like to come for the conference, just let me know in the comment and maybe we'll do a poll later and we'll see how many people want to come and we could something for sisters, brothers to learn about water birth. The more education get, the less there will be maternal mortality, deaths during pregnancy or childbirth or even postpartum, because when you are educated, then it's easier and faster for you to recognize signs that are not okay. Again, thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate you. And again, if you're watching the replay, make sure you like and subscribe and make sure you let me know where you're watching from and also what you learned from the video today. Until next time, God bless. Remain blessed. Bye.